Are you a manager who is eager to change the trajectory of your career? I have spent the last 23 years as a Fortune 50 leader learning from other industry leaders how to break free from limiting beliefs and habits. On the Might in Motion podcast, we focus on the 4 M's: motivation, momentum, mindfulness, and might. We bring you leaders from Fortune companies, doctors, and entrepreneurs. Their stories of living their own might in motion will inspire you to create your own action plan and achieve your goals. Welcome to Might in Motion. Today's episode of Might in Motion is brought to you by Pantheon FM, Fortunes Magnified. Pantheon FM is changing the world through entrepreneurship. In this community, you will find everything you need to create, amplify, and monetize your world-changing business. Join us at pantheon.community/register/LAUA. Today, I welcome Martita Ayup. She is a PhD. She has one in biology. She's been in academic science for more than 15 years. And after healing from a severe autoimmune condition that brought her close to death 3 times, she started helping others, and that shifted her life completely. She found her purpose in helping others regain their health naturally. She's a certified international health coach with a gut health and hormone health specialization. She also is a yoga and Pilates teacher. Martita, welcome to Might in Motion.
Thank you very much, Mariana. Very glad to be here.
I am so excited to meet you. We have a mutual friend that we both adore tremendously. And just from our conversations that we've had in the green room, I can tell why she adores you so much. You are just a really interesting person. And, man, I'd love to hear your story. I don't know if I've ever met anyone except for maybe my husband who has survived death 3 times. His was not from an autoimmune condition. So can you tell us your story on how you've cheated death?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity of sharing my story that became my purpose in life. So, I was 24 years old. I was about to finish my degree in biology. I was the best student, the best notes, excellent, perfection, self-demanding, very passionate also for what I was doing. I love biology. I'm very passionate about it. But I was not taking care about myself. I was very, very stressed. And when you are young, you just go with the mood, and you press the buttons and keep going. Our bodies, like, it can handle that stress better when we are young. But I got to a point that when my body says, please, we need to rest, and I was not listening to the messages until I got this very severe autoimmune condition called dermatomyositis with vasculitis and antiphospholipid acid syndrome. Very complex things, the less frequent autoimmune conditions, I would say, and all combined. I also had 2 more autoimmune syndromes associated with those other 3, but the main one was dermatomyositis. That started being like an arthritis symptoms, muscle pain, joint pain, weakness, mental fog, fatigue all the time. And then my skin started to have lesions from the vasculitis, and things started going. I ended on a bed for 1.5 years without being able to move, but by myself. I couldn't even do this movement with my hand, because any muscle was working on my body. So literally my life stopped and completely, and I was getting worse with the months. That's brought me to be very close to death 3 times. I tried all the medical treatments that were available at that time. This was 16 years ago, more or less, 16, 17 years ago. And so, then it was like another era of what I see now, that how medicine and nutrition has evolved, and all the paradigms, how are they are changing, and lifestyle medicine coming up to the play. And it is so huge, the improvements that we are having in our consciousness level also, and in the real meaning of taking care of ourselves. So yeah, I indeed I had, when I was very close to that to die, I had really a deep spiritual awakening
Mm,
experiences, where I
yeah.
felt like this joy and sensations that I had not felt before, before in my life. And I was, what is this? How can I be so happy, so joyful, being in my worst physical condition ever? That was not something logical for me,
Yeah.
or that was meant to be. So that was the first challenge to my beliefs, and that happiness only occurs when you are having everything perfect in your life and everything's going on, and start finding that you can be joyful and connected with your higher self, even though the external conditions are not the best ones. So yeah, I was think that that was the first moment where I connected with my higher self, my true self, who I am, and that part of us that does not die, that is not conditioned by the environment or the external condition, the situations that we are living. So it took me like many years to be able to talk about what I felt at that moment, because I didn't have the psychological tools, even the words to explain
Right.
that experience, that deep experience. But at that point, I felt like such a certainty, and I started like listening to my body and knowing what to do from my body. So I started taking some decisions like, okay, I'm going to quit this medication, quit
Hmm.
treatment. I don't want this anymore. I feel that I need to have some rest from this treatment and just give my body a rest. And 2 weeks after I decided that, I didn't have any plan B by quitting the plan A. I didn't have plan B, but I have this inner trust, amazing inner trust, and my certainty. And someone called my mom at that moment. At that moment, I was living in Argentina. I am from Argentina, in the northwest of Argentina. I didn't have a smartphone at that moment. There were no smartphones there in Argentina, but at that moment there was no technology or social media or these kind of things that we have now in order to connect and to look for information. That was not common at that moment. So everything was more about a word of mouth. Someone tell you about this. So someone called my mom and told them there is here in the north of Argentina, like a shaman,
Yeah.
these people that know a lot about plants and nutrition and food, and they are healing naturally people. So I'll say, yes, I felt like, yes, this is the way. So we went there, and I came with all the speech that I had a chronic condition, that it has no cure, that I was meant to be like that for the rest of my life. And he asked me, were you born with this condition? And I said, no. Okay, so
Hmm.
you were born healthy? Yes. Okay, so health should be your chronic state.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And I was
Health
like,
should be your
oh,
chronic state.
yeah.
Wow.
And he
That's
told me, you can make health your chronic state because that was the state that you were born with.
wow.
And he totally shifted my mind. And he told me, he was the first person that told me we are a mind, a body, and a soul and a spirit, and we are integrated. And he also told me, if you believe that you have a chronic disease, you are going to have it.
Hmm.
So yeah, he asked me, what do you like to do? I am a tango dancer also, and I was a very good dancer. But that moment when I got sick, and he told me, do you want to dance again? I said, oh yes, of course. I I had already believed that I was not going to be
Hmm.
able to dance anymore. And I said, oh yeah, you are opening that possibility to me. Of course, I want to dance again. So I started really connecting with life, and learning how to to create this new reality. And he told me, your body had a disbalance, and we just need to help the body to do
Mm-hmm.
what the body knows to do, that is, regain the homeostasis and the balance and regulates itself. The body knows how to heal itself. And I knew at that moment a lot of things about the body and the biology and the dysfunctioning of the cell. So everything was really very coherent to my intellectual knowledge. And I said, yeah, I want to try this. And I started cleansing my body, nurturing my body, doing a lot of fasting
Yeah.
and this kind of healing processes, sleeping well. And yeah, I started improving. 3 months, 3 months after that, I started walking again after a year without being able to walk. I
Wow.
was walking from my bedroom to the bathroom, at least alone. And then I started improving. I continued my studies slowly as my body was recovering. I was recovering the muscle mass, my tone, my weight also, because I was very,
Mm-hmm.
very thin. And all the blood markers were improving, getting better, getting better. Since then, it has been 17 years with no symptoms.
That's amazing.
I didn't have
It's
any other symptoms in this month,
yeah.
even though I had really very challenging situations. My parents died, a lot of stressful situations that, with all this work of or being mindful of myself, with this awareness in my body and helping my body to live the situations that we have to live, the body responds absolutely. And yeah, and it has been like a daily learning. It never
Yeah.
stops, the learning in the body.
I think that's what's I don't know. I've been on a journey the past year or two to really learn more about how to naturally heal
Mm.
myself. Right. I actually just finished this morning a book by Joe Dispenza, which is Becoming Supernatural, and what you're talking about. I was like, holy cow, that's exactly like some of the examples he's given in that book of that self connection, that connection to a higher spirit, energy.
Yeah,
Um, and then and I've also started to work with a naturopathic doctor as well,
yeah,
because it's like I don't want the medicine. I want to move away from that and
right.
move towards the letting the body self heal, because it's an amazing. I mean, like, I'm a believer in God. I think God created us to heal, right? Otherwise, if I cut my arm, why would I heal, right? So if that doesn't mean, I think the inside can heal too. You just have to give it a chance.
Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, I continued my my spiritual path. Then I
Mm-hmm.
came yoga into my life, meditation. And the first years, it was very uncertain because everybody, the doctors were telling me this is going to come back. This is
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be healed. The symptoms just went down, but you cannot be healed from this. And so the first years were like, okay, I mean, I'm living day by day and seeing what happens. But I felt healed really inside.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I was not the same person, that the same version of myself than the one that got sick. So it really, I think that it was a transformation to my new version that no longer need to be sick, right?
Yeah.
So it is a whole transformation that I hopefully had the guidance to do this psychological process too, because I didn't have any support of my environment
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to um, to consciously assimilate the experience or spiritually assimilate the experience. It was day by day learning by myself. I didn't have like any conscious healer, or my even my family. They were not very conscious or very spiritual or anything, right?
Mm.
They were the typical person in survival mode
Yeah.
and doing what you have to do in these modern societies. And that's where I learned how to be and started practicing being in another way, being different. knowing different aspects of myself, discovering myself in different ways. So it was amazing, and I felt that I received a lot of guidance, divine guidance there. Yeah.
I love that. And now you've taken that experience
Yeah.
and you're now helping other people.
Oh yeah, that was also something very surprising because I didn't know I had something to give to other, or I didn't know I was able to help other. I finished my degree in biology. I started my PhD, and I wanted to be a scientist. I was teaching in the university with a very good position. I was brilliant in what I was doing, and but as I heal, people start knowing about me and asking me, "How did you make it? Please help
Mm-hmm.
me." And I started helping people because I couldn't say no to someone that was struggling like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that people opened my heart and people helped me to connect and to know what empathy is, compassion, and people start fulfilling my heart so much, much more than academic science, that I ended quitting all the academic part and dedicating my life to help others. Of course, I continue studying. Then I studied. I am studying functional medicine. I am making now a master in autoimmune conditions from a functional medicine perspective and a microbiome and gut microbiome perspective. I am very passionate about what science is bringing new now, and it is amazing. So I am still in science. I work with many medical doctors in a team because it's so important that health coaches or biologists work with medical doctors in this new approach to medicine and to healing, where you can use the best part of modern medicine and combine with this lifestyle medicine and what people can do at home and connecting with themselves, taking knowing to take care of themselves. It's something that we haven't learned since we were kids. So I think it's the upgrade of the human species doing this kind of transformation to our new version, to our this new humanity that is rising, right?
Yeah. I mean, I see it all around. So many people are trying to just become
It's
their
fascinating.
best self, right? Both mentally, physically, spiritually, etc. And when you do that, it has a positive impact on your career. It has a positive impact on your family, and it moves out from there. You're now impacting your friends, your coworkers, from making your own personal journey to become the best that you can be.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's really about being in your best version where you can shine everywhere. You can
Yeah.
shine in your work, you can enjoy your work. You don't need to wait for the weekend or for the holidays to relax. It's about learning how to live in a different way, and it does not challenge our productivity at all. And mastering inflammation in our body is so important, and knowing how to manage inflammation, because inflammation is something normal. I think it's the real pandemic situation
Mm-hmm.
that we are living for the last 40, 50 years in modern societies. There are a lot of things that are very inflammatory. Modern life is inflammatory. So
Yes.
learning and knowing how to manage inflammation, knowing that it is never going to be zero inflammation because it's like utopic, but learning how to listen to the body and knowing that okay, I think now I am exceeding my inflammatory boundary, so I need to take some actions. And it's so easy uh,
Mm-hmm.
when you connect and you listen to your body and learn the body language that you can do what you do. It is not about stop doing what you do. It's about doing it from a different way, from
Right.
different standing from a different point inside of you, putting you in the first place, taking care of you, breathing better what you are doing. I like to say is the minute by minute daily life mastery or something like that, where you become a master in your minute by minute life, and you are the authority of your internal chemistry.
Mm. Ooh, I love that. You're the authority of your internal chemistry.
Yeah, so you are all the time, minute by minute, deciding what chemistry is dominant inside of your body. So that is epigenetic. That is what gives your cell, your genes, an
Yeah.
environment, and that is what is going to switch on and off a gene or a disease or a disbalance or anything. So when you become aware and you become responsible for your existence, and you become the authority in your physical reality, mental reality, emotional reality, or plane, and you know, learn how to manage that and how they merge together, and how they work together, and you can see that dance, everyday dance between all your planes is so fascinating that you also become um um like curious and
Yeah.
learning from these dances of energies, that is very joyful and funny to be having the human experience with this awareness, because you're like a child,
Yeah.
learning new things all the time. You're getting surprises, and it's so nice that I think that it pumps up this like wanting to be alive.
Yes. Yes. You're more alive
It
because
revives me, like, okay, yeah, this
yeah.
is amazing. I want to keep exploring humanity because it's so amazing, right?
Yeah.
So otherwise, I see that people are like, uh, their flame is like going down, down,
Mm.
down, down with the years, and they start like, oh, dying very little by little, day by
Yeah.
day, year by year, and they are more and more down, instead of having this childish attitude towards life,
Mm-hmm.
of exploring and of having fun, and yeah, always being surprised by life.
Yeah. To have that curiosity, right?
The
Of a
curiosity.
child. I mean, and
Yeah,
I think that's what kind of drove me to make some changes. It's a lot though, right? A lot of times people don't know where to start. So I started with like just getting blood work. I had a naturopathic who got, I mean, it was my all my blood work. And
yeah.
then, a food intolerance, not like what you're allergic to, but the intolerance, right? So the
Mhm.
combo of stuff. And
Awesome.
just some basic things for me, which was soy and egg and some other things. I was like, so I just cut that out.
Yeah,
And then I just tested. I'm like, well, what if I have egg? What's going to happen? And I end up with a raging headache. Well, that might explain like really bad headaches that I never could correlate
yeah,
between like the food I consumed and my body's reaction to the food,
yeah,
because it was an internal reaction instead of like a skin rash or whatever, right? Or if I
yeah,
have soy, my attitude changes. My kids notice. My kids will know, like, oh, you had something you shouldn't have eaten today because you are really mean, right?
yeah.
Which is no way to live life. So if you have advice, Martita, on like where can somebody who is just they're curious, they've never started this path, what
Yeah.
what recommendation would you give them to start?
Yeah. First of all, understanding that we normalize a lot of conditions. We
Mm-hmm.
normalize like living at my 50% of energy, or with fatigue, or always needing a coffee to start the day. So those are things that are telling us there is something that is not working well. My mitochondria in my cells are not producing the enough energy. So these are very common symptoms of inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
um, liquid retention in your tissues, in your body, bloating, mental fog, when you cannot concentrate, your mood is always bad, you are intolerant, you are
Mm-hmm.
irritable all the time, you don't sleep well. Don't normalize all that conditions. Stop drinking more coffee because that is not the solution.
No.
So don't normalize, and also knowing that we don't have the reference point of how much better we can live, and
Yeah.
how well we can feel every day. So open that door to say, what if I can experience 20, 25% more energy in my daily life,
Mm-hmm.
right? The real energy, no, the energy that comes from caffeine and all
Mm-hmm.
these stimulants, right? So that first of all, that one to observe ourselves and see what symptoms of inflammation can we be experiencing, because if they are there, it is probably
Mm-hmm.
that we are going to develop some condition or disease in the next or long-term future. I don't
Yep.
know, but inflammation is the root of every disease. So
Yes.
we want to find a way to be sustainable in how we live and doing what we do, and not necessarily getting that accumulation of stress that is going to make us sick and will make us stop being able to do what we do, that like happened to me. uh,
Right.
in the worst of the cases, you are going to stop completely like me. Otherwise, you are going to continue living at your 40%, 50%, and it's not worthy, right? So first of all, that, and start recognizing our nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
I that I was studying biology. I was studying biology outside of my body first, and then I
Yeah.
started studying biology inside of my body, and giving the importance to our circadian rhythm, like really to live and eat and do our activities during the day, and then getting into the afternoon, the night, just try to relax. Tell Invite your body to come into a relaxation mode naturally. Don't be pushing
Yes.
yourself hard until late at night with all those stimulants and screens and lights, and suddenly go to bed and pretend you are going to sleep in 10 minutes. That is not going to happen. You need
No.
to know how hormones work, cortisol, and all that. And this just trying to regulate. You don't need to go and live in the countryside, in the forest. That would be great if you like, but you can be living in a city and really align yourself with nature as much as you
Right.
can, with your inner nature. And respecting these things is are huge changes that where the people start really experiencing huge changes, like for example, not eating late and going to bed having at least 2 or 3 hours of fasting already, and sleeping with an empty stomach, allowing your body at night to self-regulate and lower inflammation, and become ready for the next day, and stop accumulating things from the days before, because it was not efficient on doing that, because we force our body to keep digesting at night. These kind of things are small things, but so important. There is no other more complex treatment that is going to function
Yeah.
or or give us results if we don't address the simple things, like drinking water,
Mm-hmm.
respecting the circadian rhythm, getting enough sleep, enough rest, learning how to breathe. When people talk about stress management to me, they said, okay, yes, I started doing yoga 3 times a week. And I
Mm.
say, I don't care about those 3 hours of yoga you make weekly. I prefer that you start mastering how you are going to live the 12 hours that you are in activity.
Right.
And I want you to start breathing better any
Mm.
activity that you are doing. You are
Mm.
making dishes, breathe deeply, breathe to your belly. That is a
Yeah.
mechanical thing that activates your vagus nerve and takes you to the parasympathetic system mode, and really start changing your internal chemistry. I help people. I try them to have those 12 hours of activity with a better internal chemistry, and there is how they became an authority of their internal chemistry. They
Yeah.
know how to take themselves from point A to point B whenever they need, whenever they watch that they are having too much of this hormone and this stress, because they know how that feels now. So they can decide where they're going to stand, where they want to stand in order to how I want to stand in my work, for my colleagues, for my work partners, in my family, from my kids, and for myself, right?
Right.
To in order to be able to enjoy my human experience and have it the best one possible, the
Mm,
more enjoyable one.
I love it. I love it. So, Martita, I'm going to share on the screen and we'll put it in the show notes as well. But what's the best way if somebody really wants to work with you? Is it best to connect with you on LinkedIn, Instagram, your website? What's the best way for them to connect with you?
I am very active on Instagram. There are some things that are in Spanish there, some others are in English. But if you private message me, direct message me on Instagram, I can answer. Also, my LinkedIn, absolutely, I check it. On my website, also you can go there and find a quiz. There are some free stuff there you can get in order to self-evaluate your inflammation degree, inflammation level, and then you can contact me if you want to explore more how can you lower your inflammation and start mastering inflammation in your daily life in order to be healthy, to make health your chronic state, in order to don't you are not going to need to have the need to prevent disease if you cultivate health daily. I don't like the prevention.
Right.
I like cultivation of health daily. And yeah,
That's awesome. And I'm assuming that when you meet with folks, it can be virtual, and so if somebody is not in Vancouver,
yeah,
British Columbia, they can still connect with you from all the way around the world.
yeah, absolutely. I work with
Awesome.
people from different countries in the world, in Spanish, in English. I have programs in Spanish, in English. I am a woman on a mission. This is what my higher self asked me to do, and it is working so awesome. Seeing so much transformation, a lot of people with the same disease that I had healed already, and yeah, that is so fulfilling for me. My heart is like so fulfilled with watching these processes and people healing and connecting with themselves, that I think that is what we are meant to be here to shine our light. And I feel so grateful and blessed to be able to see others shine. Yeah.
I love it. That's so amazing to hear your story from 1.5 years of not even being able to move to following your passion in life to help others break free from those cycles they're in. Some notes I had that just resonated with me was, find your joy and connection with your higher self.
Yeah.
Healthy should be your chronic state. I love that, because a lot of times people focus on being on a chronic illness, and you're saying, no, health is your chronic state. You could become the authority of your internal chemistry. Now you take ownership of it, right? It is your body. You're the one in it all the time, right? So why not be the authority on it? And then,
Yeah.
you had some 4 things, right? Your water, which I'm a big fan of. I'm like, I've got my water bottle right here, right? Drink 4 to 5 of those a day. You start really connecting with your circadian rhythm and nature, and how that rest is really important, which goes right into sleep. And then the fourth one was your breath, right?
Yeah.
We breathe
And of course,
constantly.
we didn't say, but nutrition, of course, real nutrition, uh,
Yes,
and eating for your hormones, eating for your gut microbes, that they are our soldiers helping us thrive and stay in the best condition possible.
I love it. I love it so much. Martita, thank you again for joining us today. This was super special, and I learned a lot. It really resonated with me. I'm sure it's going to resonate with people in the audience. And, connect with her, connect with Martita, because she can really help you. She can help you transform your life just like she transformed her own life. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Mariana. It was really a pleasure. I feel blessed for this opportunity to share my story and to inspire others to take a step to living at the best they can.
Thank you for tuning into Might in Motion. If you learned something about motivation, momentum, mindfulness, or might, please like, comment, and share. Thank you.